one and all, and welcome to another episode of the Press Box, episode 41 today. I'm joined once again by Josh Partridge and Brian Allen. Rob's still walking across every inch of Tasmania, so he is still away. On today's episode, we have the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, we've got Cricket North, and we've also got the NTFA with their new fixtures. But first of all, Brian Allen, how was your weekend being a Swiftie?
Yeah, it was fantastic, mate. We went on Friday night, and obviously that was the first night of her Melbourne shows, and I guess I was really jealous of Ed Sheeran playing at the MCG last year, and just to watch that from afar and see that he got about 100,000 people to the G. Like, it doesn't really matter who's playing; you just want to be there. And Melbourne just absolutely lapped it up. Like, there was. Everyone in their outfits around the city across the 3 days. There's all this buzz, like just flying over, or I'm sure it was for everyone travelling to Melbourne. Then the concert itself, like Taylor Swift's just high quality from start to finish. Like, I reckon her voice, like her talking voice, might not have even been 100% because she's having to work so hard. But like, I reckon when she was talking, I was like, I reckon she's, her voice is a little harsh or something, it's not at 100%, but then she just sings beautifully and goes through the different genres so well. And just like the way she's able to adjust. So I was really impressed by that, and it was just being there was like all the cheering, like there's parts where she just gets everyone to cheer for like 10 minutes straight. And just like when you have 96,000 people, it's like kind of, that deafening sort of screaming and it's the stadium almost, I think that you could feel like the stadium, the MCG shaking a bit. And that was just so cool to be a part of, and there was like a bit of a lighting spectacular with these wristbands that they gave you on the way in. So it was so good to be a part of, and it was, like obviously I'm sporty and everything and been to the G in so many ways over the years, whether it be footy or otherwise, and to go for such a spectacle like this was awesome.
Yeah, 100%. The Press Box, home of all things Taylor Swift. We will get onto the sport now, though. Josh and I had a rather quieter weekend, it must be said. Although we'll kick off with the Jack Jumpers. So I spoke with Christine Finnegan, who is the CEO of the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, yesterday, following the announcement that they'll be playing Illawarra next Wednesday, the 28th of February at 5:30 p.m. Doesn't sound ideal having a game that early on a weeknight. It is a little bit different for Launceston Jack Jumpers fans. It's a day off, public holiday because of the Launceston Cup, but then that also produces another issue where people are going to be at the Launceston Cup. They won't be able to go to the game. I did speak to Christine about that. She said, nothing we can do about it. We've worked with Taz Racing. There's going to be a big screen up at the races, so that won't be an issue. That sounds like it's all going to be fine. But the bigger thing that came out of my conversation with her was just sort of speaking about, obviously there's an election coming up. This is when sporting codes like to try and put their requests down, and their major request is to improve the Silverdome. This is what she said. She said, part of the agreement of bringing an NBL team to Tasmania was that we would upgrade the facilities of the Silverdome, and should the facilities get the upgrade they actually require to get it to the standards that other teams and ourselves expect to play in, then we'll be taking finals games to Launceston in the future. I'm not sure what you boys think. I think that's, should that be a true thing that she's saying, massive.
Yeah, it is. I suppose the only really final stuff that we've had here was when UTAS hosted the AFL stuff during COVID. So to have a national code converged on Launceston for arguably some of their biggest games of the season would be unbelievable, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's another step as well to helping that brand of the Jack Jumpers that they really want to be seen as an all-Tasmanian team. How much would that help aid that cause if they were to get an improved Silverdome?
Yeah, I mean, I've reported on this across the last 2 years. The Silverdome is obviously, it's not the ideal for the Jack Jumpers, and they haven't had a great record here either, but I suppose that doesn't really matter. It's just about feeling comfortable in the venue and feeling like it's suitable for. They get sellout crowds, and there's such an appetite up here for basketball that's real. Like it's not like it's just a craze that's lasted 1 year. It's been sustained over 3 years now. So I think if we can offer like a proper facility, it can only be a good thing. And it sounds like the Jack Jumpers want to come up here and share these games, the big games.
100%. We will move along though. The next piece of chat I suppose we're going to talk about is Cricket North. Josh, you covered it this weekend. How was it? You obviously had to buy in your own cricket. So how was it being able to watch, Westbury and South kick it? So Westbury, and Mowbray kick it out.
Yeah, it's usually Brian's baby. Well, not actual. He's got one of those himself, but he handed the Cricket North sporting side of things to me this weekend. And so both Westbury and South Launceston are really on top of their games at the moment. Westbury are on top thanks to James Tyson. He scored 135, his first century in Cricket North, although he said he scored one in England, which didn't really matter, was his words. So, and he gave some really good quotes when I talked to him. He said, it means a fair bit. There's a lot of good players, especially in this competition, that probably haven't scored 100. So he was really honest and kind of open about what it meant to him, especially he's someone that grew up at Westbury and then went away to Latrobe for a couple of years, and he said he just needed to grow up a bit and kind of find himself outside of the Westbury environment. And now he's back in his third year at Westbury and he's having obviously a pretty good time. So fantastic for Turtle Tyson to be able to put one of those together. And then across at South Launceston, young 16-year-old Lockie Taylor, he scored 76 and put his side in a strong position. And it's obviously always a fantastic part of our job to see young kids really excelling at the top level. And he's got a fantastic family around him too, like his dad, Anthony, coached Lonnie and South Lonnie and all that kind of thing. And his mum, Lauren, actually taught me at high school. So they're a fantastic crew, and it's brilliant to see Lockie doing well at the top level.
Yeah, 100%. And I suppose with those individual performances in mind, how do you see the state of play going into the second day? Yeah,
so especially in that South Lonnie game, they declared they put themselves in a pretty aggressive position, and then they got the big wicket of Lonnie captain Cam Lynch towards the back end of the day. So Lonnie are 1 for 1, chasing, I think it was late 280s or something like that. So they're really on top. And Westbury, obviously, anytime someone scores 100, it really puts them in a dominant position. So they're sitting nicely going into day 2.
Rightio, and our third agenda item of the day is NTFA. They announced their fixtures for all 4 senior competitions under 18 still being figured out as we speak. Now, my biggest takeaway from the day, from the announcement, was the amount of Friday night fixtures women's football is getting. Obviously now with the 14th team, St. Pat's coming to the competition, I think there's probably been a bit of a contingency plan to ensure that all these games can get played and there's not too much stress on clubs to be able to put on 4 games a day, stuff like that. So I understand why they've done it. There were, obviously the Women's Gala Day held at Scottsdale. What do you think about how big that is, I suppose, for the club and for the community?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, to have all of those games in the same place and to be able to use two grounds at once in the same venue is fantastic. It's going to be an absolute hub of activity, and there's going to be so many people going through. Not just the Scottsdale footy facility, but the community as well. It's going to be fantastic. Cottage Bakery is going to get an absolute workout, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I suppose seeing a fixture just makes you more excited for the footy season coming ahead.
Yeah, it's coming so quickly. Like AFL starts on, I think, March the 7th. We've got the pre-season clash coming up here in early March between Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs at UTAS. Yeah, that's going to be really good. Like the Bulldogs have been consistent the last few years. They've been up there, and then the Hawks are always improving. So that'll be a good one for us in Launceston to get to.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's all the time we have for this week's Press Box. Thank you for joining us once again. We'll see you next week.